Hello everyone, I am Jeffrey Way, and welcome to the new net.touchplus.com screencast of the week. Rather than continuing with CodeIgniter, we may do that actually tomorrow, but I thought it would be fun to do something a little more simple and a little more something that would appeal to a wide variety of people. So we're going to work on jQuery filtering, actually. So one of you noticed, this is my new site, jeffrey-way.com. One of you asked how I was able to take care of the filtering. If you come down here to, this is a list of all my tutorials for the Envato sites. I set up filtering so you can view it by CSS, by JavaScript, by jQuery, etc., or go back to all of them. One of you asked how you could do it, and to be honest, it's a really down and dirty, quick and simple way that I set up, and I'm going to show you how to do it today. So let's come back to TextMate. I have a blank index.html page, and let's begin. The first thing that we need to do is create a list of links. So for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to do the same kind of idea of tutorials for different languages and things of that nature. So we'll do UL with an ID of links. Okay, and within it, we'll do a list item, anchor tag. It's going to go nowhere. And we'll do how to do something great with PHP. Now here's the key. We need to apply a class to the list item that's equal to what it represents. Okay. So, like I said, down and dirty. So we'll do PHP, something like that. If we wanted, we could do a space, and if it also applied to HTML, we could do that as well. So PHP and HTML. Okay. So let's copy this. Let's do another one. This one will just be PHP. And we'll just do a couple more. We'll do CSS with JavaScript and just HTML alone. HTML, JS, and CSS. And that should be good for now. And what I'll do here is I'm just going to copy this a bunch of times. Okay, so we hide this, view this in Firefox. Pretty much you would expect you have a big list of links. We view the source, and we have classes that we can now latch onto. Okay, so I'm going to come to TextMate, and now the next thing we need to do is create the option so that the user can select, I only want to filter through this or this. However, because we're using JavaScript to do it, it's probably not a good idea to create our unordered list up here, because what if JavaScript is disabled? Then the user is going to be clicking on these links and nothing is going to happen. So a smarter move would be to add those items with JavaScript. So I'm going to be using the jQuery library. And let's begin. At the very bottom, the first thing that we want to do is we'll create a var and we'll call it UL options. Okay, and we're going to do this really quick and just add it. So why don't we go ahead and do it up here? That way we can just copy and paste. And we'll give it an ID of options. It's fine. And let's create. So the first one, it's going to go nowhere, and we're going to give this a class, and that's going to correspond to these down here. So let's first do, the first one we should do is all. So we'll do all, and that will be the view all button. One more time, there we go. And the next one will be PHP, CSS, JavaScript, HTML. Okay, so now we need to give these their respective classes. So now you can immediately see that we've created a connection between the PHP button and all of the links down here that have a PHP class. Okay, so if we were to come back and refresh the page, we'd have our links, but even if we disabled JavaScript and refresh the page, we would still have those links that would serve no purpose. So I'm going to copy this, or for that matter, cut it out, and we will make it equal to this variable. We could make it cleaner if we wanted, but kind of strapped for time, so we will do this as quickly as we can. Okay, that's fine. So now that we have our variable, the next thing that we want to do here is get our list of links, and we're going to dot before we're going to add UL options. So if you guys don't know what the before method is, we're pretty much getting this unordered list and we're saying before it, add something. So we're pretty much saying before it, add that unordered list. The next thing we want to do here is we are going to get the children of the links, which will correspond to these right here. And we are going to add class of all. And that will be so the all button will work. I could add all to each one of these, but I forgot to do it, and this will work just as well. Okay, so let's see if that worked. Come back, refresh the page, and it is displaying, but if we come back now and disable JavaScript and refresh the page, we just get a list of links which will work just fine for them. Okay. Good deal. So now let's continue on. And the next thing we want to do is listen for when one of these anchor tags within the options unordered list is clicked. When it's clicked, we are going to run a function. And the first thing that we'll do is cache this. So we'll do jQuery this is equal to the jQuery object, because we're going to be referencing it a few times. And we're going to do one more variable. It'll be type, and that's going to be equal to this dot attribute, and we're just going to get the class. We'll do it that method. And let's scroll down some more. The next step is to we need to add a class to give the user some feedback that they did click on one of these anchor tags. So what we can do here is this dot add class of selected. Okay, so if I come back to Firefox and I refresh the page and I create my class of selected, and we'll do something like font weight bold. If I click on it, it does get bold, but you see how there it directed us to that link. We need to make sure that we return false to disable the default action of the anchor tag. Save that, come back, refresh the page. And now if I click on it, it's not showing up. So, good. Now, why don't we do some quick CSS styling? If you don't care about this, feel free to just skip ahead 2 minutes. All we're doing is styling our list of items. So the first one I'm going to do is the options. And we're going to do border, 1 pixel, solid, E5, E5, E5. Did I name that correctly? Let's see. Yeah, UL ID of options. And the next thing we need to do is float it to the left. And we're going to set some padding all around of about 1em. Okay, don't worry, we'll clean this up. Next, we're going to style the list items within the options unordered list, and we're going to set those display to inline so that they aren't block level elements, and we're going to set a border right of, once again, this kind of grayish blue. Next, to center that border, we're going to do padding right of 10 pixels and margin right of 10 pixels as well, and that will center it. As you can see, the next thing you can see here at the very end, we have that extra border that we don't need. You guys may not know this, but you can get rid of it by doing last child, and that will find all list items within the unordered list, but then only target the very last one. And of course, we would do border right none, and it gets rid of that. So the only other things I want to do here is clean up the anchor tags, and we'll do text decoration none, and set the color to 29, 29, 29, which is kind of a black. And we can do LIA, hover, text decoration underline. Whoops. Should be showing up. Unless I'm missing something, it might have just not refreshed, but I'm pretty sure that will work. Anyways, and then we need to go ahead and do our selected class again. Font weight is bold. And then the final thing we need to do here is you see how these list items are up here. It's because we floated our options div to the left. So what we'll do here is we'll do links and make sure they clear that. Okay, that looks just fine. So we'll come back here, and within the head we'll be fine. We'll paste all of that in, close that out, come back, refresh the page. And why aren't those anchor tags? I must have typed something wrong. When you're recording these screencasts, you don't even see obvious mistakes, which you guys probably did see. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you is we've added the class to apply that bold. But as you can see, if we click on all of them, first we get this little outline that Mozilla adds, but all of them are made bold. So we need to make sure that each time one is clicked, we grab all of those and remove that selected class. So we'll take care of the outline first, and we will do options LIA, and we'll do outline none. Okay, that gets rid of the outline. And now let's get rid of all of the items. So let's see, options LIA, when you click on it, let's just do it once again, get all the list items A. The reason I'm doing it like this is because if we were to refer to this, we would once again only refer to a single anchor tag. So this just grabs the whole set again. And remove class selected. Okay, and now you can see only one is bold at any time. Okay, so just to make sure, once again, it is working just fine. So now what we need to do is when one of these is clicked on, we need to find all the list items that have a class corresponding to what was clicked on. So for example, if we click on PHP, we need to then go to this unordered list, find all of the list items with PHP, and only display those. So the way we'll do that is we will do get the links, all list items, and we're first going to hide all of them. The next step is to filter through them and find only the ones, like I said, that have a class equal to the anchor tag that was clicked on's class, which is stored into this type variable. So we'll filter, and we'll do with the period representing the class plus type. So type would, in one of these cases, equal to PHP or HTML. So we're just looking for the list items with the class of HTML. And if you guys don't know what filter means, it's a method where, imagine you have this filter and you pour all of these list items into it, and then you say filter only ones with the class of PHP. That means only the ones with the class of PHP will able to make it their way through that filter. Everything else will not. Okay? Pretty much as you would imagine with filter. So we're going to filter that, and we will only show those. Then we return false. So let's come back, refresh the page. If I click on one, you look at that already. And it's really simple. It's a little dirty, little down and dirty, but it's quick. And for simple projects, that's really all you need. So if we disable JavaScript, let's try this. Refresh the page. We just get a list of links for them. But if you have JavaScript enabled, you're able to sort through them. And if we click all, the reason all is working, if you remember, is because, if I can find it, we added a class of all to all list items. So if we come to Firebug and you want to verify that, you can see here that the list item has a class of all, each one of those. And there's actually other ways we could do it too, but this is kind of a quick way just to make that work. So that's pretty much what I wanted to show you today. And you can see you can then take it further and style it using stripes, where you could do get all list items. And then if you want to see a quick example here, so what we can do here, you might come into a little bit of a hiccup. So if we come up here and let's say right up here, we want to stripe every other one. So we'll do links li, and we're going to get the odd ones, and we're going to add a class of odd. Okay, let's come back here and do odd. And we're not going to really make this pretty. We're just going to demonstrate the functionality. Get the background of bluish gray. If we come back, refresh the page, they are striped. So you would think, okay, great, that's all I need to do. You'd be wrong. Now, if we click on JavaScript, they're all gone. So what we need to do now is come back, and there's even more problems we need to do. But first, let's come down here. And you could even imagine like, okay, let's just go ahead and add that again. Still not working. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to come down here and we're going to get the list items and we're going to hide them. We're going to filter through them and we're going to show them, but then we're not done. We're going to filter through the ones that are displaying, and we're going to only find the odd ones. And then we're going to add the class again, odd. So we have one more problem here. If we come down to the very bottom, actually no we don't. It looks like it's working just fine. All striped, just making sure. So if you ever have a problem where once you're selecting different items, you'll have like a big clump of maybe 5 that are the same color and it's not striping correctly, it's because it's still adhering to the original selection. So what you need to do is every time it's clicked, you need to make sure that you hide all your list items, and then you filter through only the ones that are displaying, and you make sure that you add that class, and that'll make sure that you have no problems with the strange striping features. Alright guys, that's what I wanted to show you. There are different ways to do this. This is a really quick way with talking. You know, we could have done this in 5 minutes. So let me know your thoughts, and if you have any questions, and please follow us on twitter.com/nettuts. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our RSS feed right at the top right here. Thank you guys so much. I will see you next week. Bye.